Ron. I just heard you making fun of me on the Ask Ron video. I decided to pull over. I just went through a drive-through. We're moving, as you can see, into a house we got owner financed, and I had to get me a Diet Coke. So I'm responding to your telling me that I need to elaborate. So my name is Debbie Wood. I'm from Frisco, Texas. I've been with you since '99. Gone to all your boot camps. Met you in Vegas last summer where you called me reptile brain, I think it was, on steroids. Shout out to Scott, who was awesome. And anyway, I just love you. I just know you have an answer to my question. I know it seemed confusing and probably like I was a newbie. So this is my question. I have a realtor who really thinks I a little bit walk on water, which I'm good with, but it's only because of what you've taught me. So I can do multiple things. So if she brings me a junker, I can put an offer in it and flip it. If she brings, whatever she brings me, I can do something with. And I love that I use your phrase, I'm a transaction engineer, the other day when I was talking to her. And so she doesn't quite get it. But I was talking to her the other day and I said, you know, if you know anybody that's over leveraged on their property or facing foreclosure, we can help. And she's like, really? And so she said, give me a minute, I'll call you right back. So she called a realtor friend of hers who had a client, had a house listed, and they called me back. And she said, you know, her client has a house. He's about to go to foreclosure on Tuesday. It was probably a Wednesday or a Thursday. And there's nobody that can help him. He's already talked to 4 investors. Nobody can help him. And can you buy the house? And I said, of course. So I talked to the guy. He was willing to deed me the house. It's worth $1.25 million. It's been at one time evaluated for up to $1.5 million. It's a beautiful house, 6,600 square feet on gorgeous acreage. And houses here in Texas are really cheap. So $1 million house is really nice here. It's just, you know, big. It's got all the bells and whistles and everything. Pool, just beautiful. So I told her I would be willing to do that. To do the deal, I have to make $53,000 in back payments, and then I also have to pay him $32,000 because he has an IRS tax lien that he knows I'll get released when I own the property, but it's just been dogging him, and he just needs to be done with it. And it was a deal breaker for him if he couldn't be done with it. So I needed to give him $32,000 so he could pay off the tax lien for $19,000. He could have a little bit of moving money. He's just broke. He was, you know, just made killer money at one time, pretty young kid, and he's just kind of having trouble. So, and it was a deal breaker for him to not get the $32,000. Otherwise, he was going to ride it out and just, you know, steal whatever he could and sell or whatever from the house. So, that was all worked out, plus holding costs. So I figure I'm going to spend about $100,000 by the time I get a buyer. But we were personally going to move into it because I just sold my house in Frisco, Texas right out from under me. So we were going to move into it. So it was our cash, so it was fine with us. We knew he only owes about $640,000 on it, really minus the $19,000 tax lien. So there's tons of equity in the house. I can rent it for a lot of money there because it's a super hot market. Cowboys are coming. There's not enough housing. You know, houses are selling in Frisco, Texas. I know you said in another question mine it wasn't possible, but they're selling well over asking price in one day, multiple offers, at least $10,000 over asking. Even junkers, banks are just selling them for well over what they're worth and getting it as is. You know, sometimes they fix them up and they really ask for a lot. It's an incredible market here in Frisco, Texas, and I love it. I'd much rather have a harder time buying than a harder time selling. So I'm just, you know, we're just loving it. So that's my question to you is, sorry, I got to stay focused. My question to you is, I need to pay the realtors because I wouldn't have known about this house if my realtor hadn't brought it to me, and she brought in the realtor that it was listed with, so I owe them. And so I'm trying to figure out how I can pay them. You know, I don't have an extra $48,000 in that deal. I certainly don't want to pay anything up front when I close on the deal, so I didn't know what to do. So I finally worked out that I can give them 1% up front and the rest on the back end. But I think it's kind of rude to say in 10 years when I decide to sell it, or it might even be longer than that, this is a great property to have, or to owner finance, or I can do anything with this property. So, and it's nice to park a little of my money there. I didn't mind because for tax purposes right now, it was good. It worked out good for me. So I just didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know if you give them a one-time fee. I want them to keep bringing me properties. The second realtor has already brought me another property. She said, look, nothing can be done in this situation, but I know this girl that can do things when no one else can. Why? Because of Ron the Grant. So just don't know what to do in the future. I want them to keep bringing me properties. I normally don't find these properties through realtors, but I love that they're bringing them to me. So I didn't know what you would do in that situation or how we could work it in that situation. I knew that you're such an honorable man, Ron, that you always pay people what they're worth, that you always tell us to treat people right, treat people with respect, that you don't rook people. You're very honest and upfront with people. I worked with some guys on an owner finance a while back, and every time I turned around, they were getting me. You know, and I just thought, it felt sleazy to me. I didn't like the way they did business. I kind of wanted to go through with it, though, because I caught them in everything and had them change everything. But who wants to do that? I love that my buyers and my sellers, they hug me at closing. They know we've done them right and we make it win-win. So I just wanted to go to my guru, my guy, and say, what would you do in this situation? How do you reward the realtors? You know, I want them to keep bringing me properties is the bottom line. So what do you do in this situation? Especially with $1 million properties. We want to start to get into very, $10 million, $8 million properties. In this one neighborhood, we're kind of cultivating relationships, and we're already working on one deal. And but I need to be able to pay large realtor fees. All right. Thank you so much, Ron, for everything. Can you see my We Buy Houses? The back of my car. We just bought my daughter a car for graduation, and she came out a couple days later, and there was We Buy Houses on the back. But it's got to be win-win advertising, and she toodles around the town. So thank you so much for everything you've taught me. You're awesome. And like I said, in my house, you're a household name. Have a great day.